Good morning. My name is Jade Abashan. You just heard me on the news right there, and I'm here this morning with John Elliott of August Roofing and Solar. How are you doing today, John?
I can. How you doing, Jade?
Doing pretty good. You know what? It was really cold when I got up this morning, but it wasn't quite raining anymore. So I will take that as, you know what? I'll take that as a good thing. It is beautiful outside. It's just a little bit too cold for me.
Yeah, there's patchy rain, and I think it's supposed to hit pretty hard tonight for the next couple days.
Yeah, later this week we're supposed to get up to about potentially 12 inches of snow in the nearby mountains, which is insane. But related to that, we're talking about all this weather, all this water, all this potentially snow that's coming down. You work for August Roofing and Solar, and that is something that people should be concerned about this time of year.
Yeah, and thanks for having me on. I'm one of the project consultants with August Roofing and Solar, and so there are a lot of people, our phones are off the hook because of the amount of rain we've had. And, of course, it's right after a drought. So during a drought, everyone's roof is okay, right? Keeping sunlight out. But when it starts raining, everyone kind of gets that, it is time to do something with the roof. And then we're also crazy busy with the interest in solar. There's a change in how the utilities are going to bill you when you have solar. That's happening midnight on April 14th.
Oh, wow.
So we can get more into that. But, now is the time to take care of a roof if you're leaking, for sure, or ideally get it before it leaks.
So, obviously, if it's not raining, people aren't going to notice if they've got a leak. But let's say, leaks do start showing up. Should people wait on that? Should they call you guys right away?
Oh, no. It should be right away. If the roof's leaking inside the house, it's already too late. You're seeing interior damage, potential mold damage, things like that. And if you're just even close to needing a roof, like near the end of its life, sooner is always better. Also because pricing just keeps going up and up as it is with everything else. So people who are like, I got one more year out of it, then they see how much it went up compared to the year before, and they're kicking themselves. So
that's something interesting. I'm not a homeowner yet, but I know you said that a roof has a life. How long do roofs normally live?
Oh, good question. So there's different types of roofing materials. So if you have like asphalt shingles, it's like, the little...
Yeah, the little gray ones.
I guess angular squares with the granules on it. Yeah, so those... kind of the typical ones go about 25 to 30 years. There are a few higher-end ones that are thicker and have a different cut to them. They're supposed to be 40 to 50. And you'll know that, at least asphalt shingle roofs let you know when they're done, even before they leak. So you'll start seeing the granules coming off and collecting gutters around the house. If you start seeing shiny edges or any shininess on the roof, that's the actual fiberglass mat, the carrier that's showing through, which means you've lost granules and you've lost the asphalt that does the waterproofing. So kind of like driving on bald tires, you can look up at your roof and go, that doesn't look like it should. Probably time for a roof on that. Then you've got the world of clay and concrete and, different types of tile roofing. And the tile, especially the clay and the concrete, they last a really long time. So what wears the roof out on that is the underlayment. So, 20, 30 years ago, it was mostly a paper-based tar paper or felt or underlayment. And that's actually what does the waterproofing under the tile. So on those roofs, you've got about 30, maybe 35 years, depends on tree debris, sun exposure, pitch, a few different things, or how well it was done initially. So kind of the same lifespan, about 30-ish years. And the problem with tile is it looks good, so you can't really tell. Most people wait until there is a leak. But the solution for a tile roof, you can either do a reset, or you pull up all the tile, leave it up on the roof, get rid of the old underlayment, fix any wood damage, and then you put new underlayment down, which is much better these days, and then put the same tile back. There's some new tile that has to be added in to complete the roof, and it's a close match, so that usually gets hidden kind of on the back or the side. So if you ever look at the back of some of the tile neighborhoods, you can tell when it's had the reset because there'll be like a rectangle of close but not perfectly matching tile.
Mm-hmm.
The other solution would be, if you don't like the look of your house, you can get all new tile, change the look. So, but you don't have to do that.
Okay, so some completely random question. I have seen reports of like potential scammers walking up to your house and offering to like pressure wash your roof. Is that ever a legit offering that somebody will walk up to your house and do? And is that a good idea to do for your roof?
Well, it's a good and a bad idea. So if you have an older roof, and the reason for pressure washing is to get rid of the moss and the dirt, and some areas are really mossy, like Moore Park, Thousand Oaks, Camarillo. Some areas like Santa Clarita, Santa Monica, not so much. Anywhere it's drier, you don't see as much moss and kind of dirt collecting. So it's mainly just for looks. So if you have an older roof, the last thing you want to do is pressure wash it because it can actually cause leaks. I mean, they're up there with pressurized water and spraying. But what we do after a reset is pretty much on every one we do a pressure wash after the new roof is on to get the old tile cleaned up and looking, uniform and kind of new again. So
that's really cool. Let's move on to, we were talking about, you said that they were going to change the billing system for people who have solar on April 14th, I believe you said. What's going on with that?
Okay, so there's been a few iterations. There's like a overall energy commission in California that sets kind of the limits of what utilities are allowed to do as far as billing, how much they charge, how things are paid. So the current system is called net metering 2.0. And what Edison does, for instance, is they'll bill you can do it monthly, but typically people do it once a year for the usage. So when you have solar, you're creating your own power. But during the day, if it's, sunny and no one's home, you have excess power, it has to go somewhere. So you're actually sending it back to the grid. You'll see your meter, run backwards. And they're counting, how much power you spend versus how much you use. And at the end of a year's time from when you've had it turned on, they kind of, do a true-up bill. And if you overproduce, these days in net metering 2.0, you just get a credit, so you don't want too big of a system on your house, because then you're just kind of building credits and not really using them. If you have a underproduction, just a little bit, you have a small bill, at the end of the year. So the goal is to kind of get just enough panels to just be a little bit over what you would normally consume throughout the year in kilowatt hours. So that's the current setup. The next setup is less favorable. So right now, when you send power back to the grid, they're giving you an equal exchange. So let's say it's prime time. They're charging like 40 cents a kilowatt hour. If you send power back to the grid right now, they're giving you 40 cents a kilowatt hour credit. In the new system, they're going to only give you a quarter of that credit. So it's quite a reduction on your payback. So instead of 40 cents a kilowatt hour, they're only going to give you 10 cents a kilowatt hour. So you either need a much bigger system to break even at the end of the year, or you're going to have a bill. So they're sort of trying to say they're promoting batteries. Not everyone needs a battery backup, but that would help kind of store the energy during the day, and then you would use the energy from the battery. But the batteries they're pretty pricey, so that's going to increase the cost of solar. So that's why a lot of people are trying to jump in right now. If you have any interest in solar at all, to speak to everybody out there listening, now is the time to really decide whether you want it or not and try to get in before April 14th. So you don't have to have it installed. You don't have to have the whole system complete. The rule, at least with Edison, is you have to turn in your PTO application. PTO stands for permission to operate. So you just have to have a signed contract with a solar company. They, develop the engineered plans, and then that, along with a number of other, paperwork and information, gets submitted to the utility. So as long as it's submitted and complete before midnight on April 14th, they'll grandfather you into the current, net metering 2.0.
Well, thank you.
After that, then you're in the new system.
Okay. So that's what? We got 2 months to start getting ourselves set up and making sure that you're kind of grandfathered in?
Yeah, and it's going to be busy. So it's probably better to take a couple weeks to a month to get a decision and get paperwork going. I think the plans right now take about a week to get created. Once the demand is crazy high, then it could be even further out. So don't wait till April 13th to say, okay, I'm signing a contract with a solar company. I hope they can get it all done and turned in on time.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. This is John Elliott with August Roofing and Sulphur. And how can people contact your company?
So you can go to our website, www.augustroofing.com. You can also just call in the office. Let me get that number here. So that's 805-498-8350, 805-498-8350. No one's going to remember to write that down. So just check us out online. Easy to just Google August Roofing. And it's real easy. You call in, you actually get a hold of somebody, and during rainy time, that's a good thing for a roofing and solar company to actually get a live person on the phone, get scheduled an appointment, and basically me or one of the other guys, we come out and we inspect your roof, find out what you need to have done, compare that to what you'd like to have done. Sometimes those two aren't the same. And then we're actually able to give you guys a written proposal right there on the spot. So it's a pretty quick process. I mean, we may be booked out more like a week and a half because of the rain, but you're not waiting weeks after that for your proposal.
Very cool. Thank you so much. Once again, that was August Roofing and Solar. You can find them online, and I certainly didn't catch that phone number, so head on over to the website. Thank you so much, John.
Yeah, thank you, Jade, so much for having me, and everyone out there, have a good day. Drive safely. Watch out for the rain.
That goes to the rest of our listeners as well. For more information, you can tune back in to KHTS FM 98.1 AM 1220 or check out our website at hometownstation.com.